You having problems with the factoring? Has anyone gotten there yet or no? No? Okay. Who's at the factoring? Anyone? Yes? Okay, if you get to the factoring, you're going to run into a problem, right? Okay, we should talk about this. Yes? Everyone good on these first steps? Everyone get this vertex? 1, -1? Everyone got a quick sketch that we do have two x-intercepts? Factoring this, you try 3 times 2 is 6. That's your first number. And then your second number is -6. And there's a problem here, right? Because when you try and figure out two numbers that multiply to this and add to this, you're not going to find them. You have 1 and 6, -1 and -6. Those both multiply to be 6, but none of these add up to be -6. And then you also have 2 and 3, and -2 and -3. Those two multiply to be 6, but neither one of these add up to be -6. So what happens now, right? We know we have two x-intercepts. We know that there are two solutions to this, but we can't find them using this method. So what's going on here is this method only works for nice numbers. If the solutions to this are not nice numbers, like nice fractions or whole numbers, then this method won't find them. It fails, right? So this whole method fails. All right, so what do we do now? Does anyone know what I'm going to do? How to solve a quadratic equation if the factoring fails and you know you have two answers? Skip it? Yeah, well, that'd be nice, but we have to find them. It'd be nice if we could skip them, yeah. There's something that you may have learned in the past that helps you solve any quadratic equation? No? It's okay. I think when I say it, you'll remember it, maybe. Y'all remember ever hearing about this thing called the quadratic formula? The quadratic formula. Okay, so if you try and factor and it fails, and you know you have two answers, right? We know we have two answers. So we know that there must be two solutions to this, and the factoring falls apart for you here, then you must turn to the quadratic formula. And the quadratic formula says this: the solutions to this equation will be x, that's the answers, will be -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all of this divided by 2 times a. Does that formula look familiar to you? You remember seeing that at some point in your life? Okay, this formula will give you the solutions to any quadratic equation. Any of them. So as long as we know what A, B, and C are, which we do, right? We just plug them into this and it'll crank out the two answers. We call this formula a plug and chug. This is a plug and chug formula, meaning you don't have to do any work or think about it. You just have to plug numbers in and just chug out the answer, all right? So I'm going to do that over here. I'm still on step 4. So my solutions, x will be, all right, what's -b? What's -b for us here? +6, right? Because our b is what? -6. So you take -6, that's the opposite. So you'll get 6 here. Plus or minus square root. Okay, now, b squared. If you take -6 and square it, you get what? +36, right? +36, that goes here. Minus 4, now I need to multiply 4 times A and then times C, right? Times A, then times C. So the way I like to write this is this. I do 4 parentheses A, 3, C, 2. I like to put them in parentheses to imply that I'm doing this times this times this. And then the whole thing divided by 2 times A, but A was 3. These are our two answers, but we need to get them. We're going to need our calculator. All right, but let's try and figure out what this is. So here's what I like to do. I like to multiply these three numbers together first. What's 4 times 3 times 2? So 4 times 3 is 12, right? Then times 2, that gives you your 24. So this will be 36 minus 24. Then that whole thing divided by 6. Do not cancel these 6's, all right? Don't do this. You can only cancel a factor if it's in all of them, right? So do not do that. It's a very common mistake. Students will see that 6 and want to cancel. It's kind of like this. If you had 4 plus 1 over 4, that's 5 over 4, right? You cannot do that. That's just 1. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so don't do that. So I'm going to keep cleaning this up. 6 plus or minus square root of, okay, 36 take away 24 is 12, and then over 6. Now I'm going to need my calculator. So on your calculator, you should have a square root key. And we're all supposed to be using this calculator. Yes? So where's the square root key on here? There it is, okay. If you have your own calculator, it's fine. Just remember on a test, you can't use your phone. So everyone should be able to find that key. On this calculator, if this is what you're using, there's a key that says x squared, and then it's on the left-hand side, fourth one up. And then above that, it's got this little square root symbol. So what you have to do first is hit the top left button, which is the second key. When you hit the second key, it's like a shift key. And it means it's going to do that instead of this. So you hit that, then this. So second, then that. And now you just put 12 in there. And then hit equals. And you should get 3.464. So this becomes 6 plus or minus 3. Let's just round this one decimal place. How about 3.5? Is that okay? 3.5 instead. And then over 6. Oh, shit. I didn't realize what time it was. Okay, so now we have two answers, plus and minus. So what we do first is we do the plus symbol. We do 6 plus 3.5, and then divide that by 6, and then we do 6 minus 3.5, and then divide that by 6. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. I'm so sorry. 3.5 plus 6, and then divide that by 6. So we should get something like 1.58. I'll do 2 decimal places here. Then this one will be 6 minus 3.5 divided by 6. This will be 0.42. Those are your two x-intercepts. And then you have your y-intercept, right? Your y-intercept is positive 2. It's this number. Step 5. And then you draw the picture. I'll tell you what, if you need to go, you can go. I'm gonna send you a homework assignment, okay? I'm gonna give you a couple of parabolas to graph for homework, but just check your email later. And then what I want you to do is I want you to bring those on Thursday, because I want to see that you've done it and that you're okay with it, all right? So check your email later today. Go ahead and go. I'm going to finish graphing this because if anyone goes back and watches the video, that way they can see the whole thing done. So let me see here. My step 5 is a y-intercept, which is f of 0, which winds up giving you the 2. Bye. And then I only need to go out maybe 2 in each direction. My vertex was, bye, take it easy. My vertex was 1, -1. My x-intercepts were 1.58, which is about a little more than halfway between 1 and 2. And then my other one is 0.42, which is not quite halfway. And then I have a y-intercept of 2 like this. And then I've got this axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is not part of the graph. It's just a reference. It's a guide to help us draw. So here's my little U shape. Goes like this, connects here. And I just try and kind of do the same thing over here. Not bad. I didn't label these. These should be labeled 1.58, 0, 0.42, 0, 0, 2. Okay. All right, check your email later. I'll post some problems for you. Did you want to talk about that one? I have a few minutes. I can probably help you. Do you have a question?